Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Rashid Al-Omari, and we are broadcasting live from Dubai at GITEX 2023. Today, we have a very special guest, flown from Italy, just to be with us. Without further ado, I would like to introduce Enrico Bavarini, who is the Vice President of the Solution Engineering within EMEA. So, Enrico, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rashid. It's fantastic to be back in Dubai. It's fantastic to be at GITEX. There is, as usual, a big vibe of innovation and great things that the entire world is watching. So thank you for inviting me. It's a great pleasure to be here.
Good. So Enrico, as you can see, we have viewers, listeners from around the globe, and also we have listeners from Italy and from Europe. So maybe they want to know Enrico. So who's Enrico, and really what he's doing within his capacity as the vice president of the company?
So I've been privileged to be at VMware for 11 years now, and I'm responsible for the solution engineering team across EMEA. So it's a very talented team of technical experts with business acumen, skills that engage our customer and with them define their way to use our technology for their outcomes.
Brilliant. So Enrico, I know you have a lot of passion about technology and getting the meaning of technology impact to the business. As you witness in this GITEX, the motto is Imagine AI Everywhere. And here we are here to discuss the AI revolution and what's happening in the industry. So can you just give us, your view or perspective on what is happening in this AI thing around the globe?
So for what we see and the way also personally I got into it, it's the next wave, is the new thing, but it's also true that there's been many years of studies and evolution of what today is becoming a reality. AI has been studied and discovered for a lot of time across a lot of industries, trying to apply that intelligence that can improve our way of working and improve our experience or define also new business model and market. If you think like financial services, to start with, the banks today, they were already doing automating trading and trying to automate the risk assessment or detected card fraud. But with artificial intelligence and the amount of data that they can collect and analyze today, they can speed it up or define even patterns that we had not have available before, or even allow the machine to actually generate what could be possible scenarios and possible answers. But the application is endless. It depends also how well each bank is thinking to use it. When you go to healthcare, I think this is something touching each of us and our lives. And we have around the globe, everywhere, fantastic doctors that studied and they are really able to understand conditions. But if they are equipped and empowered with a global level of knowledge brought by AI, we can take it to the next level and even live longer and create better life and create a better cure. I was with customers 2 weeks ago on the energy sector. The transmission of energy, the modernization of substation or smart grid, it's something they always talked about and even tried to work with us, like in terms of modernizing. But AI gives that next horizon to really understand the real-time distribution and predict and generate new patterns for business model, energy pricing, sustainability initiative that they put in place. So we could touch honestly every sector in the industry and understand how the understanding of data, the teaching a machine to help us accelerate what humanly we could do, but it would take a lot of time, will generate as the new experience.
So, Enrico, yesterday we hosted Joe Bagley, our CTO, our beloved CTO, and I think we all went to agree that today there is something happening in the industry which is make it easier for the barrier of how to interact with AI, which is the LLM. So now, instead before that you need to really be a scientist or a really deep programmer just to be able to get the best out of it. Now with LLM, like anyone if you have only the algorithms and they are setting the parameter behind in your AI, you could interact with, and this interaction is becoming easier through like normal language, as if you speak to your expert or to your friend. So how do you see this really getting and accelerating the adoption of the AI?
So we were having the coffee before. I mean, at the end, we had this explosion of AI when people and my son and everyone started to interact with the web or with an app and asking questions and getting answers that were before it took ages to find or they didn't know. Right. So there is that front end, that user experience, and that consumerization of AI made that explosion that we are living today, because everybody can use it. So in the front end, you have that access to trained machines that can predict or can give you the answer you're looking for. But then there is also a back end that is more into the, let's say, the operations of every industry, and then we're going to talk about IT, our world, that ability to have knowledge at the fingertips, or imagine to even write new code, having somebody supporting to write new code, or instructing how to operate a data center through a single and easy interface, is something that we didn't have before, and that is really impacting the reality of our day-to-day job. So I would differentiate, as usual in the past we call it B2C and B2B, but AI is impacting these two worlds at the same time, and that's probably one thing. Also, is that I think we need to take away the risk, like we did in the past with all the new waves from cloud to containerization, to oversimplify. I mean, at the end, it's complex. We can simplify it, but we need to be aware what it really means.
And like in discussing with different, let's say, stakeholders within the industry, as well with customers, we got to know that there are barriers for adopting. Some of them is actually maybe resources. Others is the experimentation part of it, and seeing the potential. So I think out of this, recently VMware, they came up with something to address, maybe solve a problem statement for the industry when it comes to the AI. Because everybody was in the hype, yes, AI, when you have the Gen AI, ChatGPTs and others of the world, okay, yeah. But what about, let's go back now to the basics. What about my data? How can I keep my edge, my competitive edge, and all the elements that really needs to be replaced? So what's your thought on this, Rico?
I think, and I'm not saying as a self-defense or preservation, like AI will automate a lot of things that today humans are doing. That's true. And it happened through history. So we automate, we create new model, and then we define new job, and some roles disappeared and some others have been created. That's like the life that we've been living for the last 100 years. But like the example I did before, nobody is probably at the moment thinking we can cure people without the human interaction. We can we can automate a lot of maybe marketing material, but back to what you said before, every company needs to find that differentiating angle that only the knowledge of your customer and the knowledge of your business gives. So there will be always
so humans will not be replaced?
I don't think so. It will be super helpful. It will be help. And there will be probably, yes, in some cases, but not as a worldwide statement across the world that we're going to live into the matrix.
But the big question is actually, we need people to program this, right? And just to give it the parameters and the boundary.
So again, you get to the point where you have, yes, like you mentioned, the data scientist and the very skillful resources that can learn and develop this. But that, if you make a parallel with containers and Kubernetes and developing new apps, which is a world that we lived in at VMware for the last 3 years, yes, you need that specific skills, and we need to learn those new skills. But at the same time, it will help doing the job better, because, for example, if you think about all those skills or those developing languages, if you think about all the tools that we are using in IT operations or that we consume by the cloud, if there is something if AI can bring that knowledge and democratize that knowledge and make it easier to interact with the things that we don't know because you have more information, you can like grow the new talents, like the new generation, they can learn faster, also all things. And the people that are working today, they can speed up what they're doing. So I think human interaction will always be there. We have a creativity that at the moment I don't think is resides in a machine.
I hope so. This is what,
No, but-
yeah. So and then now the question will be, in Vegas, VMware announced this private AI. Yesterday, we touched lightly with the Joe, but I really would like to know from the custodians and the technical authority, the design authorities within VMware, which is your organization. Really,
No, but-
what's your take on this private AI, and what really comes to solve what?
So let's go one level down, right? So you talked about LLM. At the end, the real value that we see these days talking with customers that are moving from exploration to, no, I really want to do something and I need to do something. But sometimes it's even one step further. Like I want to show that we have services on AI that can deliver. You have hyperscalers providing already models. So we are moving into that direction. The point is the differentiation, the training a machine, the more specific it is, the more differentiating and value can bring to the organization. So when we were discussing at Explore, and what VMware has been working on and will continue to work on, is giving the opportunity to establish this data collection and training LLM in it's not a safe environment. It's an environment that is proprietary because you still need to respect all the security policies of the company, the local regulations, and then you don't want to put your data into a public common domain that somebody else can exploit for their advantage. So that trend for specific scenarios and industry is driving that private AI need. And I think VMware, like we did over the last 20 years, we look at technical innovation. We bring our innovation on the software infrastructure. We look at the innovation on the market. We look at the cloud, the containers, and now AI. And we are confident that we optimized our infrastructure solution and management solution and security solution to offer the customer the ability to run that AI environment in the best way on their premises.
So, Enrico, can we say that it is, for us, the AI, it's another workload similar to like a current business application or what have you, which is it's a business application or intelligence, what have you. It needs, like what you said, it needs to be maintained, operate, safeguard, secured, like any other workload. Yes, it might have their own specific needs for resources, and maybe this is where maybe you can tell us about what we did specific with one of our partners here.
But so, absolutely yes. Now, I don't want to generalize into workload. I think this is what, through our partners like NVIDIA or others, but also that's one of the specialties of our organization as a solution engineering, and yourself, Rashid, as the advisory team. When we come together, we really offer the customer the best of our knowledge and help. Is understanding, first of all, the business dynamics and the business models. Then understanding what are the objectives and what are the initiatives that each customer want to achieve. And then working with them to really define, okay, we can offer an architecture that help you to operate all the different type of workload in the same way. We can offer different level of security depending on the business application of the type of workload that we bring in, and working together to understand, okay, either you're still running your legacy, let's call it legacy because they're just maybe sitting on old hardware. You're running your new modern apps that you containerize. You're running disaster recovery environment. You're running workloads that you're planning to migrate to the cloud with the option to be portable back in case you want to do it. And now you're running new environment for AI. you can really do it in a seamless way with the same operating model, with the same infrastructure.
Wow.
That's really, I think, the power that VMware brought to the market and will continue to develop, because there are also evolution and optimization we need to do in terms of latency, in terms of really addressing the needs of this type of workload.
And how is your team? Because I think you have the biggest, the largest, really technical authorities within the regions all over. So how is your team is going to tackle this, adding in their bag, like that additional mission of make sure that the AI is actually being considered properly?
Really, thank you for this. Is something that is really, as I said, I have the privilege to lead, to be responsible of this team, but the brand of the solution engineering, what used to be called pre-sales, and now it's really the fact that we have very talented people in the organization. Through our learning cycles, we continue to develop their technical skills. So I'm really proud on one side, but really enthusiastic with the fact that we need to have that technical skill that we need to keep bringing to the customer. Our customers and partners are exposed every day to things like this as GITEX. You can walk around and learn everything. So we need, as a team, to really have that technical expertise to play the game.
Yes.
But then we always drove, especially again with our partnership with advisory services, that consulting approach, to be able to go and listen to the customer, advise, not selling, we are not there to sell, we are really there to advise and work with them to define. So the way we approach this is usually with workshops that can really help identifying what the customer needs and where they are today and where they want to be, is then following up with a deep dive on the technology to really define the level of architecture. And then obviously we work with our partner, with system integration and our professional services team to make sure that the customer will adopt and operate what we decided. And this is a loop, because every time we go into the realization of the value of a project, there is always something new that we can work. So I think customer and partners can look at the solution engineering at VMware as the arm that can help them really achieving and understanding all the new technologies. We started 3 years ago, I was already in the job. We started with Kubernetes and cloud native to really take from the infrastructure into that level of conversation and knowledge. And we started already 9 months ago about AI. So you will see even more announcement at Explore in Barcelona. That is the biggest, the next big event after GITEX that we will be there. You will see how we continue to expand on this AI journey.
Okay, so this is now brilliant for the role that what your organization is doing to help. So now for the viewers and for the listeners and for the customers listening to you, and really putting their hats of architects, engineers, that they want to get you through this and navigate you through this in a proper way. What's your advice to them? Seriously, you have the mic, you have the camera for you. Speak to them. Just tell them, from really a leader that is really navigating and have a wider team, what's your advice to harness the power of what's coming, always to have harness the power of innovation, and also to bring this to reality as we start realizing, adopt it, and realize the value.
And very humbly, because I don't have I'm not teaching a lesson to anyone, but I kind of repeat myself. I think at the end, this is a new thing. We really need to learn it and understand it. The main difference is between people that took the time and the effort to really learn LLM, to really learn what it means, what are the requirements that AI is bringing to the infrastructure, to security policies, to management, and how we can develop new apps using this material. The second thing, if you want to go into a little bit more in the consulting space, because as I said, I truly believe that the technical expertise needs to be translated in business terms, is I think there is space here to learn and develop new maturity models that we didn't think about before.
Yes.
Because we had it for private cloud. That's where I think we can really be the expert, recognized as the expert. We develop it through all the management and practices in service management and so on. And AI, I think, we can, each of you, I think, we can define how we drive a maturity model to understand what are the capabilities required to reach the nirvana, and then how companies can go through that journey over time. And that, to me, I think that is kind of the recipe for success, because at the end, just to close, AI will not probably replace a lot of the past. I mean, the industry of IT has been a creation of layers on top of layers, and the old layers will never go away, which creates that technical debt that a lot of our customers are asking us to solve. But at the same time, you still have a lot of value in all the layers that companies built over time. We need to respect that and understand how we transform it.
And I think the last one, which is maybe want to address, everybody is learning, and this learning curve is really going up. And the skill set, upselling, sharpening our, let's say, like knowledge, and get our hands dirty, because I think if there is a say, if you don't start, I will not say you'll not finish, you'll not go through that journey.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think this is an element of consideration for keep learning, right?
No, but I think that one key message, or maybe the final message, is everyone on this podcast and around the world, they can keep looking at VMware as the company that can help them learning what's going on. And if you go to our website, you engage with us, you will see, as I said, is the entire history of IT, from virtualizing a server to now discussing artificial intelligence. You'll find the knowledge part of the knowledge that you need across interacting with us. So that's why it's great to be also in the company.
So really, with that, Enrico, so much for being with us today. I know that you have a very, very busy agenda. You just came in to be with GITEX for 2 days. I know it's been hectic, day and night meetings, executive customer meetings, and being with us with the podcast, just with our online viewers and listeners. This is really appreciated. We hope you have a safe trip back home, enjoying GITEX, enjoying the meeting, and really appreciate your being with us. So thank you, Enrico.
Rashid, fantastic. Yeah. Thank you so much. And let me close with congratulating you, because 3-4 years ago we started this in a small room in the VMware office. Now it's becoming a worldwide event. So
thank you so much. Thank you so much. And hopefully also we're going to have this at Explore Barcelona, and we're going to host you there, inshallah. Okay.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. So with that, really, we have to thank Enrico for being with us and enlightening us about the revolution that's happening with AI. I know it's a very, very deep topic. There are so many things, and with Enrico, we can go for one day or days discussing the different elements and aspects of AI and how to adopt it, what are the best practices, and even though what he has plans in terms of tooling, in terms of capabilities within his team, really to work out with you, with the customers, to make that journey smoother to getting to the AI. Now, definitely the day is the starting, and we started with Enrico. We have a full agenda for the day. Stay tuned with us. In a couple of minutes, we'll be back with really customers who are going to share their experience about their transformation, their AI adoption, and how they really tackle this within their organization for business outcomes. So stay tuned, and we'll be back. Thank you.
Feeling lost, confused about making the right technology decisions for your business? I'm Rashid, and I have been where you are. Join me on Podcast with Rashid. Let's untangle the complex web together, drawing inspirations and gaining insights. with the lineup of seasoned experts and industry leaders. We are here to ignite fresh ideas and provide clarity. Whether you are in a metro, sipping coffee, or at your desk, we are here with you, guiding every step. Richard Quest once said, a quest means business. Well, here at Podcast with Rashid, it's not just business, it's business and technology.
Welcome back to the show. I'm your host Rashid Al Omari. I'm so thrilled and excited to broadcast live from Dubai at GITEX 2023. We are having a special guest from our beloved Egypt, Mr. Sha'rawi Mohammed, who is the CTO of Fab Masr. So, Mr. Sha'rawi, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Rashid. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. Thank you for having me today.
So, Mr. Sha'rawi, Egypt, a big nation with a big ambition, and the banking landscape is really, like huge as well to reflect the speciality of the market. So, can you tell us about, Fab Masr, tell us about Sha'rawi, tell us about the landscape of banking in Egypt?
Yeah, thank you. In Egypt, as you know, we are one of the biggest countries in the region. We have around 100 million population of people. We have a lot of youth in our population. For years, we have been working on a traditional banking and traditional economy until the recent few years that a lot of initiatives has been driven by the government and the Central Bank of Egypt, and also for the organizations coming like Fab, where I'm working right now, coming a big name coming from the group to invest in Egypt. So a lot of initiatives is happening on the country, and also we have seen a lot of industries as well has been improving and trying to provide new services to the economy and to the country as well. Like, for example, using the mobile for everything. So I was discussing with one of our vendors today a new version of our mobile banking, and now we are talking about decision. Do we need a web version of this or not? So it should be mobile only. Yeah?
Okay.
So we have this generation, and we have the generation where I represent, who is in the middle, who can use the technology but also need to deal with humans as well. And we have the older generation who still need to go to the branch. And we still have the people who still does not trust a computer or machine when it comes in. Even we have a joke in Egypt, and when it comes to, you can deal in English with anything, but when it's come to money, you switch to Arabic. Yeah? So
this is where I need to be.
This is my money, and I need to see it, and I need to have someone to speak to. So it's a very challenging time for the banks and leaders working in the banking. And in my opinion, there's nothing unique about Egypt. It's similar to any other countries. You have to see what you have, who's your customer, put them in segments, and make sure that you deliver service to all of them. You don't go 100% for digital transformation while you leave some of your customers. It depends on your organization and how you see the value and your proposition as a bank in the market. Yeah.
Wow. So Sharawi, you mentioned one thing which is really, you mentioned an acquisition.
Yes.
So Fab Nasser acquired Bank Audi Masr also.
Bank Audi, Lebanon, and Egypt. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So now, typically with such acquisitions, it depends on the size, that complexity, because you already have an operation as a CTO. You already establish your business model, your technology, your operations, line up with the business, and all of a sudden you have to do that acquisition. So for our listeners and the viewers, can you just share with us the experience that you went through it? Because it's you and your team who went through this. Can you share what you can share with us?
This is a very interesting story, and I can write a book as an answer for this one. I will tell you.
This is the experience.
Yeah, I was very lucky actually, because I have been working in a bank for many years. Okay, and it happened that the acquisition happened. And during this time, there was an assessment done by the bank who can lead the bank in the next phase, with the respect for all my colleagues and all my partners at this time. And I would say that the committee responsible for this was very brave to give me the opportunity for this, because this is it was my first opportunity to be a head of IT and a chief technology officer. And it was during the integration itself.
Wow.
So can you imagine the decision maker who is taking this decision, that he saw something and he believed in you. So from day one, this was a big responsibility on my shoulders. And I have to admit this, I had some nightmares, good nightmares at the first 2 to 3 months. Definitely, I worked in many areas in IT, but it's huge. It's something huge. You're talking about approximately 300 people working at tech companies, and people from both organization, IT team, leadership. It changes a lot. But the key takeaway from this integration, this is what I'm saying, and there's some principles you as a leader you have to think of whenever you are ahead of any challenge. Okay. You have to believe in people, you have to lead by example, and you have to choose your leadership style during this time. So in the first few months, I was like the servant leader. I have good people who can do their job nice, so I was supporting them what needs to be done. Okay. But when it comes to decisions and the challenges and taking tough decisions, I was leading on this, taking the accountability. So this was a very, very interesting journey for me, and I'm very lucky to be part of the team who did this. And we did a very good integration, and the impact was customer was very minimal, and this was very important for us as Fab Nasser, because we wanted to say that we are representing a big group, which is Fab. When we do things, we do it in a different way. We put our customer on our front, and we design everything based on this. And this is what our customer have seen as well once we went live. Yeah.
Wow. And I think, I can see that this is where we get polished more and more when we get actually into making tough decisions. And this is all what experience is all about, is,
yes,
making decision at the right time. And sometimes, you have to make a decision, even though if it's wrong, it's better than not making a decision.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah,
you
because
will
you have to move.
You will regret the decisions you didn't make.
Exactly.
The decisions you make, because it's like a running river. Once you take the decision, you will deal with what's come next. But not taking a decision at the right time, this will cost you a lot. Yeah.
Okay. So then, as a CTO within the capacity, which is now the acquisition completed, integration done, or still in the process?
Done. Yeah,
so now things, the ship is sailing, everything is really smooth and okay, brilliant. So now this is will bring me to the second subject. You are here in GITEX, and you are witnessing a lot of let's say buzzwords, technology, innovation, and here always like a CTO as well as from a banking, from business owners, from the decision makers. When it comes for making this kind of reflection and use of all these technologies, people sometimes no, there's a technology, I have to embrace it. Versus what me as an organization, what's my objectives and how I want to get there. So what's the philosophy that you have with Fab Nasser around really getting the best out of whatever available outside?
This is a very good question, and it's very important to be asked for this. I need to have like an analogy. Imagine that you have a kid and you give him a lot of money.
Okay.
And his father doesn't know what he's going to buy, so he go and get a PlayStation, get another play toy, and so on. But they are all doing the same. He will waste the money, and at the end he will get minimal value from this.
Okay.
Our role as people who are leading the technology is to stay focused with what our organization is actually needing, and not wasting our investment in something that will not bring us value because it's the hype or it's the trend. So with my respect to a lot of technologies, some of the technologies might be good in certain industries, might be good in another bank, but for in my opinion, no, I have to be very focused.
Okay.
I have because what's happening now in the world and this hype of the AI, and before this the blockchain and everything and the big data and so on, and the vendors will come to you and they sell this technology to you because they have the passion and they see the value out of this technology. But how you are going to utilize this to achieve your organization target, this is the key question that each CTO or CIO has to answer. So what we believed in FabMus, and this is what we did. You start first with the business strategy, try to understand what the business is trying to achieve, what are their problem statements, what are the expectations from our customer. And in my opinion, okay, and I'm always saying this, we have a lot to do in the banking industry. We need to raise the bar. I always say to my team, okay, we are not here to operate the bank or keep the lights on or to follow other banks. We're here to raise the bar for the banking industry, and I mean it. And if you don't dream big, you will not do anything.
Yes.
So what I'm saying for the technology, what I need to do, look at the cloud now. You are using Google and using Microsoft in your daily business. Have you seen anyone from IT? Did you call anyone on the service desk? Did you send them any support? No. Okay, and this is what I'm trying to adopt in our bank as well, like building our banking platform where our services can be utilized by my employees, which is on the business front, and in addition to our third parties like fintech companies, tech companies. We need to
the
be
wider network.
Yes, because the front end is not for the banks anymore, and this is the truth everyone has to adopt now. Front end, there's good players like Apple, Facebook, fintechs, and so on. So I need to be the responsive bank, the fintech friendly, but what I call a fintech friendly bank. And I need to be secure, reliable, and the time to market when you come to work with me, this would be fast. In order to have this, you need to have like a platform where I call it the Lego approach, like you compose the solution quickly and make it go to life.
So Sharawi, I think just if I will summarize our listeners and the viewers, your approach and the Fab Nasser approach when it comes to embracing this, mainly focusing on the outcomes, what is really your organization is aiming for, and definitely sometimes the technology will open new doors for you, which is you need to take it into consideration. But again, it's back to the board, back to the executive for a line of business, really to define what they want to achieve, what's their aspiration, what is maybe challenges that they have to overcome, and then look at the technologies how to get that. Definitely, all the technologies they have a good, let's say, value, which is not deniable, but is actually how to get it in context and how to measure that value and align it to your organization. Now, this is a brilliant, and I think this is really, like very, very strategic and innovative way of looking at it, which is we hats down for Fab Nasser and for you and your team, and also the management who is actually supporting this, because always all the executive when they fly, they start buzzing word and they come to you, Sharawi, what about this? What about that? Huh? So we've been into these situations before and I could understand it. Now I want to throw a challenge to you because this is something maybe we have it in 2 or 3 countries, but in Egypt it's really magnified, which is the currency devaluation that's happening.
Yeah.
So be you as a CTO and you need to innovate, you need to operate, you need to also become like a partner with the business, innovating. But at the same time, you have this challenge. So really, this is a tricky balance. How you manage to do it?
Yeah, it's a tough time. It's a very tough time on the country level and on our organization level, but it will pass. Good and bad times are there for temporary basis and they will pass. But you have to be prepared for this. So when it's the good time for you, you have to be prepared for the worst, so you are not shocked. And when it's the worst time, you have to be patient and you have to work and find ways to get out of this. For us, because we adopted a good strategy, which is a platform, so I can build all my solution on top of these platforms. I have this one, but also I'm trying to see the positive things in all the situations. So in a situation like this, you will have an issue paying to a vendor, for example, like a big tech company in USD, because you have a lack of the currency. So this is, for me, it's an opportunity to innovate and to become depend on the team to come with innovative ideas and trying to be creative when it comes to a solution and try to do stuff like this. Also, it's a good opportunity to look inside the country for local companies who are doing good and then depend on them to do stuff like this. So it's a good time for you to think about and take like a close look. Sometimes you have a solution under your feet, but because the lights are grabbing your attention, so you don't see the opportunity on it. And we have in Egypt, we have a very good skill set. We have brilliant mind there, similar to any other countries. But maybe this is a chance. For,
no one is.
Look for the COVID, what happened, and definitely all the organization has been moved. And what is going on in Egypt right now, it's a good lesson for us. We will go through it and we will know how to be more sustainable in the future as well.
So, Sharawi, we have actually questions and everybody is passing their regards to you from Singapore, from let's say from Greece, from different parts of the world,
pleasure meeting
and
you.
Turkey, Egypt for sure, like Italy, and from Italy, from Chad, from different parts of the world, from India. So one thing which is, really I have a question to you coming from abroad. As a CTO, definitely there was a challenge.
Yes.
So it's not like everything is sweet and rosy. Definitely there was. What is the key challenge that you faced in the last year or so?
The key challenge is changing the culture. Okay. Because I'm a good reader and I read a lot about many topics. So I was reading a book about how we as human we have evolved and how we improve the good things. Okay, so I through my career I tried to follow different type of management and leadership styles, and then I recognized that the best approach is that to make people believe in your vision, make them see the hope, make them believe in what you are doing, and in this journey, you have to make the people see the value and the goals you are trying to reach. So everyone, when he wake up in the morning and come to the office, he know that he is part of something big and we are achieving, and he know where we are going. So the challenge always, it's on the culture, because some people will not think of you like this. Why I'm doing this? Why I'm paying extra effort for this while someone else is not doing? I'm not getting enough salary to do this. There is another competitor who is paying you more. I'm not selling you this. I'm similar to any other organization. We have a pay scale and so on, but I'm selling you a dream. I'm telling you, we are here to raise the banking industry. We are here to implement a lot of solutions. And as we speak, I have around 40 projects running at the same time, and my team is doing great, running all of this together. And this is the same team who did the integration, because they believed. When they believe in something, when they can see the value, this they can do. So the challenge will be always on the culture. But what I mean by the culture is not only your team, but your ecosystem as well. Because the saying that culture could eat the strategy for breakfast.
Yes, of course.
So this is the biggest challenge, is culture. The second one is the skill set. Again, it's about people, because with the economic situation now in Egypt, a lot of people are traveling and leaving the country to other countries as well. So this put us in a situation that in a very short time you're losing good people from Egypt. So we also work on this, getting fresh graduates, trying to give them good training and try to build a new generation. Yeah.
Okay, so if I would say we're together, we're gonna leap to the future.
Yes.
Sharawi, where do you see, Fab Nasser heading to?
Fab Masr will fly so high, and I can guarantee that if we keep working like this and keep improving ourselves, I see us as locally as the first and biggest private bank in Egypt, and also our services will be much perfect and much better than our peers, with my respect, because we work very closely as a team and we do our best to bring the best to our customers as well, and we depend on the technology that add value to our customer, and we put our customer in our front in everything we are doing. Yeah. Even in technical support, we're giving priority to our customers' issue. If he's in a branch or he's in the call center and so on, we are doing a lot and we are using the AI, for example, to figure the customer attrition. If my customer is going to be annoyed about a service, I can predict this and I can address it before he even complains. Yeah.
So the future is bright.
Yeah,
and I think you have the team. So I want to use this platform to address something for. I can see the energy and the passion that you have it as a leader within your team as well within the bank. So I want you really to address something to your staff, to your colleagues within Fab Nasser. That's number one, and also to your customers.
Yes.
So the platform is yours.
Thank you so much. Yeah, to my colleague, I want to thank you so much. Because of you, we did a lot, and because of you, I'm here with Rashid on Jitex, and we have this exciting discussion and something I'm very proud of. My message to you: never give up the hope. You are doing great. You and your peers and all the Egyptian and the people we have, all the skill set we have, we can pass through many tough time, and we can do a lot, inshallah. And for our customer, please stay tuned. We have a lot. We are cooking a lot for you, and inshallah, very soon you will see a lot of services. And I'm sure that you have seen a lot of improvement with it in our bank, and promise you that the next few months as well will be a very interesting time for you as a customer. We put you on our heart as a technology team and as business team. Everyone is working day and night to provide the best of our efforts and best of services to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So, Mr. Sharawi, really thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so
much. It's really enlightening us, and we can feel the energy and passion with your teams. And you cannot do it alone. You need to have surrounded with the same people with the same mission.
Definitely.
So, like jealous, like the team. I'm jealous from your team having you as a leader. So, thank you for being with us, and we wish all this prosperity for Egypt as well for Fab Nasser and all your colleagues and the friends. With that. Thank you for being with us. Really, it was enlightening us just to, a CTO to share his experience, his thoughts, his really pains and gains. As well, he clearly articulated leadership is definitely something that ignites people, and you need to be surrounded with the people that having the same mission to be able to deliver, as well to have eventually satisfaction for the employees, but also for the business as well for the customers. So really, from my heart and from the production team, we thank Sharawi for being with us today. And now we'll take just a small break in 2 minutes. Stay tuned. We'll keep the camera on, and we'll get the next guest to talk about a topic that actually it's a new capability that we would like to bring to the region. Some is already there, but also we want to bring that capability to the region. Stay tuned. We'll reveal it with our new guest. And again, thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much. Thanks, you. Pleasure meeting you.
Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Rashid Al-Omari, and we are broadcasting live from Dubai at GITEX 2023. As we discussed prior to the break, we are going to discuss with you some of the capabilities that we are bringing to the region just to enrich the services and offering in certain technology domain. And with that, and to reveal what's going to be offered in the UAE and the region, I'm very honored to host Elliot Uchmawi, who's our senior manager for the SASE business in the Middle East. So Elliot, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rashid. I really appreciate it. And thanks everyone for listening and having us here today.
So tell us, I'm just keeping it as a secret so far. So what we are bringing to the market?
Well,
Just give us the name and then we'll go through it.
SASE, actually, VMware SASE. We're bringing in a unique portfolio of products which encompasses, the networking and security components in the UAE.
Okay, so now for maybe everybody, not everybody is familiar with SASE. So can you explain, just tell us in a simple term, what's SASE?
All right, so SASE is Secure Access Service Edge. So ideally, today, customers are moving remotely, they're working remotely, and the big problem that they're having is the attack surface is increasing, right? And how can we protect our customers in the simplest way with the least amount of cost while optimizing the connectivity on the edges and devices? That's what SASE is. It's a strategy by Gartner to help solve this main problem.
So in our definition, or on the industry, let's say recognized definition, what are the building blocks for SASE?
Well, that's a good question, Rashid. Thank you. So the building blocks are SD-WAN, which is the main building block. And then you have edge network intelligence. So basically here, we're talking about artificial intelligence on the local area network. And then we have the security components where we have SD access and we have the cloud web security as well.
So, just in simple term, Elliot, what we're trying to solve here? What is the problem statement that we want to really address with this kind of SASE offering?
Definitely. So the first and one of the most important things today is security. So today, customers, they're concerned. They aren't able to see what's happening. What are the users using? What aren't they using? What kind of vulnerabilities exist on the devices and on their network and on their edges and on their Internet of Things? So today you have Internet of Things which are expanding, and you have connectivity which is connecting everything together, making the attack surface a lot more complicated and a lot easier for attackers to go and penetrate the customer's environment. So that's the main problem that SASE is solving. Additionally, if customers are looking to optimize and enhance their connectivity and the consumption of these applications, whether it's sitting on the edge or on the branch and somewhere around the network, we have our own proprietary technology which helps us optimize the network with our SD-WAN components.
Okay, so now I want to try to figure out what, this capabilities already exist around the globe, okay?
Yeah.
So what's we are bringing, if I want to take it from an angle of, if I am a customer in the UAE and Saudi and Qatar and Egypt, this capability already exists, right?
Yes.
Around the globe. So what's special or what we are bringing new here?
So in the UAE, we're bringing what we call a point of presence. So we're bringing this whole set of products rather than the customer connecting or onboarding or leveraging our SASE components sitting in Frankfurt or in another country where they're not, very familiar with the laws, the regulations, and the data sovereignty in that region. They have it here in the UAE that they can use. And as well, for the ones that are in Africa, we have one in South Africa as well. Additionally, they can also leverage the service providers, the local service providers, and they can benefit from a lot of, these services in a much easier to consume way.
Yeah, so I'm trying just to simplify the message for our audience and viewers.
Definitely.
So these capabilities, they exist.
Yeah.
Okay, which exist at a reach at the global scale.
Yes.
Now, what we are doing now, which is I think the first place in our region, we're bringing this capability locally.
Yes.
To have a SASE POP in the UAE.
100%.
Right? And that will allow customers to enjoy the service with all the sovereignty / data protection and all the compliance that they have to go through. Is that right, Elliot?
100%.
Okay, so this is the first thing, which is what they are getting. Now, by doing this, are they gonna change the way they consume services? That's one. And then I wanted you to highlight more in the role of the service provider, meaning the telcos and others. I know maybe we cannot mention names, but
Yes.
that's going to be revealed soon. But how this is play a role, just combining the things together, are they overlapping, they complement each other? So what's your view?
All right. So first, the service providers have what we call the virtual components or the brain of the operation in the, whether it's in Saudi Arabia or in the UAE, in the country. So this VCO, which we call VCO component or orchestrator, is managing the components within the region. So using this will help, the customers save a lot of costs and management overhead, rather than them hosting it inside their own data centers and worrying about all the headaches that come with that. They can just, rely on a third party to manage this part for them. Now, what will change in terms of how they consume services? I like to think of security as defense in depth. The more security or layers that you have, the better it is for you as an organization. I'm not saying, hey, forget about your security operating center and let's focus on SASE. No, it can add a lot of value to the visibility of your security in your organization. You'll be able to see a lot more with our, leading technology in the region, in the world actually. And at the same time, it's more like a addition. Now, a lot of customers as well, they're thinking, okay, to host all these security components is expensive.
Yep.
Rather than having everything centralized and I'm owning all the management and all the security components and the artificial intelligence engines and managing that in my data centers, I can use VMware's SASE technology and help simplify and manage my costs and save a lot of money versus me doing it myself.
Yeah, because I want to also just zoom in a little bit on the cost element.
Yeah.
We've been, like in different customer meetings as well. We know that they used to have like a classical way of connecting branches, and now, even though they have more federated reach, and they used to have like a heavy lifting when it comes to the cost of the telecommunication services.
100%.
Now, is SD-WAN is able to help at least on that part, reducing that cost of ownership on that end? And you can tell us how?
Yes, definitely. So first and foremost, the answer is yes, right? So SD-WAN does help shave a lot of costs. One, the management overhead, it's a plug-and-play technology. It's a much easier way to manage your wide area networks rather than the traditional way of doing so. Additionally, by the way, this is, side note, if our customers or anyone listening here is interested in finding out what's the return on their investment, please feel free to reach out to us. We have a partnership with Forrester whereby we will be analyzing your data centers and your environment and providing you with a factual return on investment within a 6-month period and how much money you will be saving on the people, on the management overheads, and on the technologies.
So Elliot, like with this topic, so I know this is something which is already customers, they maybe refrained from actually getting into because of the compliance issues.
Yeah.
Now, since this is the availability of that service is going to be in the country, so what is your advice to them in really embracing this, just exploring, navigating through that? So from the lens of the experts, also to the people who's going to be exploring and experimenting this, what's your advice to them?
So my advice is, this is it's not just a trend. Our customers are adopting this worldwide, and it will definitely help you manage your environment a lot better. So why don't you try it out? Instead of going with, the full SASE components, you can go with, let's say you have a requirement just for your wide area network or your SD-WAN, rather than going into something we call SD access or zero trust network access on the clients. You can just test out the SD-WAN, see how it is, and we guarantee that you will save a lot of money on this, and then eventually you will start to realize the value of SASE and why Gartner is pushing the industry into this strategy.
The last question to you.
Of course.
This is for whom?
For everybody. I mean, if you have an Internet of Things, if any IoT device, if you have OT devices, if you have users that are working remotely, if you're in the approach where you have multiple cloud providers, public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud as well, this is pretty much for everyone in all verticals and all industries.
Okay, so Elliot, really thank you for enlightening us as well, breaking the news of the the availability of that service
Yes.
within the UAE, and hopefully this will also expand in the region.
Yes.
So really thank you for being with us
Thank
today.
you, Rashid. Really appreciate it.
And I think you are doing this live, so if you wanted to really know more, you can visit us physically on the booth. Elliot and his team, they can talk you through this, and also online we have a lot of capabilities, and you can see how that potential could benefit it for your organization. Now we're gonna shift gear and we're gonna get into customer experience to say, okay, we discussed with the Fab Nasser CTO. Now we're gonna get to another guest who's gonna also be sharing a very insightful stories about their operations, their challenges, and how really they managed to overcome it to the best way to deliver to the business and to deliver to the aspiration of their organization. Stay tuned. In 2 minutes, we'll be hooked up with our new guest. And thank you, Rit, for being with us.
Thank you, Rashid.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Feeling lost, confused about making the right technology decisions for your business? I'm Rashid, and I have been where you are. Join me on Podcast with Rashid. Let's untangle the complex web together, drawing inspirations and gaining insights. With the lineup of seasoned experts and industry leaders, we are here to ignite fresh ideas and provide clarity. Whether you are in a metro, sipping coffee, or at your desk, we are here with you, guiding every step. The Quest once said, a quest means business. Well, here at Podcast with Rashid, it's not just business and technology. Feeling lost, confused about making the right technology decisions for your business? I'm Rashid, and I have been where you are. Join me on Podcast with Rashid. Let's untangle the complex web together, drawing inspirations and gaining insights. With the lineup of seasoned experts and industry leaders, we are here to ignite fresh ideas and provide clarity. Whether you are in a metro,
Welcome back to the show. I'm your host Rashid Al Omari, and we are broadcasting live from Dubai at GITEX 2023. We, as promised you, we're having a special guest from M42, Dr. Shadab Khan, who's the director of AI. And in this context of GITEX 2023, which is the motto, imagine AI in everywhere. Now, I'm so thrilled to host Dr. Shadab in our show. So welcome, Doctor, and how are you?
It's a pleasure, Rashid.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me here.
Thank you so much. As we are always honored to host real industry experts just to share their thoughts, their ideas, and as you can see through the platforms, we're having people from around the globe, from Japan, from Malaysia, India, Australia, from Middle East, from Africa, from even though from Europe, we have from Switzerland, from Italy. They are from, even though we have from America and Latin America as well. So we have a global audience, and they really would like to hear the experience of really industry experts, just to add color to what this AI is all about. So before we go to the subject, we'd like you to just introduce yourself as well, M42, to our audience and listeners.
Certainly. So I've been with G42 Group for 5 years, with the healthcare team for almost 3.5 years now. I lead the AI and applied sciences function at M42. And so in my team, we have applied scientists, AI scientists who work with clinical experts in our M42 network to build world-class technologies like our Med42 clinical large language model, which is now open access. Before joining Group 42, I was a research scientist at Harvard Medical School. And before that, I got a PhD in building medical devices and machine learning.
Wow. So you are the experts, yeah? So this is really our customer, our viewers are really very keen to hear from you. So what about M42?
Right. M42 was born as a merger of the health division of Mubadala called Mubadala Health, which operates several healthcare facilities such as Cleveland Clinic Abu Dhabi, Imperial College London Diabetes Center, and others. So the Mubadala Health division merged with the healthcare arm of G42, which is another Abu Dhabi-based AI and technology company.
Yes.
And the two of them merged, and early this year we were formed as M42. So we are big. We operate in 27 different countries across 4 different continents.
Wow.
Providing care to millions of patients in our network. We have more than 450 facilities and over 20,000 employees. Yeah, so these are just some of the numbers regarding the size of M42. And as I said, we've been a caregiving organization for the past 15 years. And now with the technology in-house, we're really in a unique position to be able to not only build world-class technology, but also try it out in our network to get feedback from our world-class physicians to deliver the next generation of care to the patients in our network.
Wow. So it's a huge operation.
It is.
And really 27 countries with 20,000, let's say, like practitioners around the globe. This is big. So with that, I think you'll have a huge responsibility as like the director for AI, the center of innovation of what's happening in the industry. So can you tell us a little bit of how this really evolved within the M42 and the AI, and what is the mission that you have really want to achieve and your aspiration in M42?
Certainly. So how this evolved is the leadership of our company really believes in the vision of using data and AI and technology to solve the problems in healthcare. We know that in healthcare you typically have problems such as you want to improve the care outcomes for your patients.
Yes.
You might want to improve the experience of healthcare delivery for both patients as well as physicians. But you also want to be able to do this while managing the costs of care. We all know that healthcare costs have been rising and the expenditure has not kept up with the demand on the healthcare market.
Yes.
The UN also forecasts that there would be a shortage of 10 million healthcare workers by 2030. Wow. Excuse me, I meant the World Health Organization, not the United Nations.
No.
So with this forecasted short supply of trained healthcare professionals and rising expenditure and burden on the healthcare system, we really need to look at transformative new technologies to solve our problems. Incrementally better technologies are not going to address our needs. And this is where we come in. We're really focused on being able to use the next generation technologies such as AI and generative AI and large language models, among others, to unlock the value from healthcare data sets in being able to achieve all of our goals in precision medicine, improving care outcomes, and improving the experience, while also managing them at a sustainable cost.
Wow. So, Doctor, from your lens, what are really, just to simplify it also, because I know this is like a very wide topic, what are the key use cases that you are now putting AI in action?
Right. That's a great question because I'm really excited to be able to tell you about Med42, which is our new generative AI language tool.
Okay.
Med42 was designed to be an assistant to both patients, physicians, as well as the healthcare professional staff members at hospitals.
Okay.
But it was designed with a global healthcare landscape in mind. So we built Med42 using data sets from peer-reviewed literature, which was then cleaned and curated by the trained expert healthcare professionals in our network. We then use this data set to train a large language model specifically for healthcare, and so was born Med42.
Wow.
Some of the use cases that it can power is, as a patient, we've all been in situations where we've walked out of a hospital with a lab report in our hands, and you see creatinine low. What does that mean for me? I have no idea, right? And oftentimes there's no real solution unless you try and get back in contact with your physician, which we all know sometimes can be very difficult. Physicians are busy.
Yes.
We see Med42 can address needs of patients like yourself and mine and others in being able to understand their healthcare records better.
Okay.
Being able to understand what the medical terminology in their lab reports and their electronic health records really mean for them, right?
Yeah.
So that they don't always have to try and go back to their healthcare team. For physicians, the use cases are very interesting and different. One of the common problems we hear from physicians all the time is that, ironically, technology has been burdening them. So electronic medical records, which were originally devised to manage the healthcare billing system, were also then stated to be a record of your health.
Yes.
It is, but it also requires multiple clicks and page views for the doctor to actually get the insights they need. Say I'm a physician and I'm seeing a diabetic patient. And I need to understand when was the last time
trend.
this patient had a control in their diabetes, right? And say I'm interested in answering that by looking at my HbA1c records and identifying when was the HbA1c below 7. So it turns out a diabetic patient often goes to the hospital once every 3 months. And if you want to answer that question, you would need to individually go to each visit records to access the lab test,
To compile it and
then store all of that information in your head. And then once you spend more than 10 minutes, be able to answer the question that you wanted. Which is a very simple question if you think about it.
Yeah.
When was the last time this patient had control on their diabetes?
Right.
That's the time that the doctors could be spending offering care to additional patients. That's the time they could be spending with the patients in their office to establish a more personal connection with them. But instead, unfortunately, today this time is going away in
Just
dealing
reading,
with
searching
electronic medical records, searching for information. We believe Med42 is going to fundamentally transform these sort of use cases by reducing the burden on the physicians to search for information and insights that they need, by reducing the time from 10 plus minutes to the order of seconds. We have several other use cases in mind for regulators, for insurances, as well as for physicians and scientists. Scientists can use Med42 to again get answers for relationships between two different, let's say, disease presentations, among others. It's really exciting, and I'd love to tell you more about Med42.
No, that's brilliant. I think this is where we are telling true stories around product solutions that you are building on this AI to really solve real problems. Now, I just take the human aspects out of it. So the physicians that you've been having within your network, definitely you cannot do it alone, and you need to get their input and their insight, and they need to collaborate. So I will answer. I have two questions on that note. One, how you manage to work with them and to get them into to see the benefit of this, as well to get them subscribed to whatever you want to do on this platform.
Right.
And second part, what's their perception and how we did with that?
Right. That's a great question, because one of the things that sets M42 apart is we are not two distinct organizations, one focused on technology and one focused on care delivery. We're one single organization which does both technology development as well as care delivery.
Okay.
We have a long history of doing both successfully. I'm also very fortunate to be leading an AI team and yet have support from my physician colleagues.
Yes.
They're very enthusiastic about trying new technologies to see how it can help them deliver better care or improve the experiences for them. So when we had the demonstration for a Med42 technology within our internal network, I was absolutely thrilled to see an amazing response from physicians with whom the problems that we were describing really resonated with them. And they were so forthcoming with offer of help and trying to get involved with the research studies that we are going to perform on safety and real-world utility of our technology. So, to be honest, I didn't really have to work very hard to get colleagues and buy-in from our physician scientists in our network. Med42 operates world-class facilities, and our physician scientists are at the cutting edge when it comes to medicine, and they're really interested in research as well. So that problem was solved for me.
Good.
Yeah.
So in doing and adopting this, definitely always there are bumps and in this journey to go. What was really one of the key challenges that you faced during this? So if it was the buy-in from the physicians out there, so that's a great thing, because the human aspects is one of the most difficult things to deal with. Yeah.
Right.
Now, beyond that, what else that you really face in getting this? Is it the modeling? Is it the algorithm? Is it really the validation? Is it the compliance? What was the really key challenge that really keeps doctor awake and like you said, yeah, we managed to overcome it?
That's a great question, Rashid. So, having spoken to several physicians in our network, one of the things we hear often is, hey, your model produces a response, but can I trust it? And that is just such a great question, because it illustrates that being technology developers, we still have to work hard to win the trust of our end users, who are physicians in this case. So we are still evaluating the safety, bias, utility of the model in real world. We are working on several research studies within our network to establish just how reliable is this technology.
Yes.
We don't claim that it is 100% reliable or safe, but we are establishing where the boundaries lie, because if we know what the strengths and what the weaknesses are, we can effectively wield AI as another tool in offering the best care to the patients in our network. So for us personally, at this point, the biggest focus is on making sure that the technology it's safe, it's reliable, and it's as effective as we think it is in the real world settings. And that is the next big problem we're working on.
And this will bring me also like to the element which is there is definitely the compliance, the trust, but also there is the ethical aspect of it, you know?
Right.
So, and that's, it goes in hand. So how you really tackle that kind of ethical fairness, not being biased and everything? Is that something that you really looked at deeply? And I know because we're talking about lives here, and
Right,
it needs to
right.
be addressed. So what's your take on this?
We did spend a fair amount of time to make sure that the data sets that were being put in did not introduce any unintentional bias.
Okay.
One of the Achilles heel for the large language models has been that they're only as good as the data that you feed it in. And because we have the physicians and the actual medical experts in our network,
They can
we could
validate.
use their help to make sure that the data that was going into the model training was really fit for purpose. But among other things, we've also done extensive testing of the model, tried different scenarios, essentially working with establishing a red team in our network, which really stress tests the limits of the model to make sure that it does not produce any response that does not reflect the ethics that we have and we hold very dearly at M42.
Yeah.
So we've assessed different scenarios, and the model seems to be doing a really good job at providing an unbiased response to the extent possible, and while making sure that it's within the ethical norms of beneficence to the patients and avoiding the malfeasance in its responses.
And you are doing all of this in-house, right?
Yes.
Wow.
So, as I said, we're one of a kind integrated tech-powered healthcare organization. So, I find myself in a really lucky position where we can not only just develop these technologies, but really have world-class colleagues next door
Yes.
who are just as excited about trying it out and providing us with feedback. So we're really excited to see where we can take this technology next once we're done with our research studies.
Wow. So, a doctor, just actually for your audience, for the viewers around the globe, they would like really to see if we, flock to the future and leap to the future. What is the future outlook will be look like in your lens as a director of AI in a healthcare organization with that size and with that share of impact and magnitude?
Right. One of the key vision statements that we're really driven by is that we really want to transform the healthcare data to insights at point of care. We all know that the field of healthcare generates tremendous amount of data. Even within our own network, we have 100 petabytes and more of data. But oftentimes this data has quality issues, it is locked away in different electronic medical record systems. It reflects the practices of the local healthcare systems where the data was acquired. And it often becomes very challenging to take that data and convert it into an actual actionable insight that the clinicians and other healthcare professionals can act on. So we are focused on building technologies that address some of these fundamental challenges.
Okay.
Med42, our clinical large language model, is one step in that direction. But we are working on building a genome foundation model, an imaging foundation model, an electronic health record foundation model. And we see these essentially as Lego blocks to be able to then compose applications for our end users, which are powered by any one of these data modalities, whether it's text, electronic health record, images, or genomes. And we really think that by building these AI systems that are able to essentially ingest multimodal data sets and address a variety of downstream use cases, will truly unlock the power of data and AI for healthcare ecosystem.
Well, I can see, Doctor, this is an absolute excitement, and I can see, like the energy and the passion, and definitely being in the cutting edge technology, try to really solve problems, aspirations in the healthcare service delivery, as well, supporting lives, and just take the health level to extremely to the new frontier, and really to have the health services powered by AI for the good of what can be doing for saving lives, detecting the new things, the new whatever, providing predictive, specialized kind of medicine care. That's awesome. I cannot tell you like the excitement that we just at the receiver side, and I can feel the excitement that you have in daily job actually just to make this happen, right?
Certainly, this is a very exciting time to be working on in the area of AI, especially at the intersection of AI and healthcare. And as I said, we're very lucky and very privileged to be in this position where we can build these groundbreaking new technologies, prove their value within the health system where we operate, and then to scale it out and offer it to the rest of the world, all by doing things completely in-house.
So, Doctor, I will say congratulations for the great work, and we really wish to host you in another episodes, another editions of this podcast, just to tell us more about the practicalities, the new use cases around this innovation that you have. So, and good luck for you and your team, and for the prosperity of the M42 and the group. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you very much, Rashid.
Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you. For our listeners and viewers, stay tuned. In a couple of minutes, we are going to have another special guest who's going to be sharing his insights, the customer true stories on how they will navigate through the tough time changes, as well to deliver to the promise of technology to the business. Stay tuned. In 2 minutes, we'll be back with you. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Rashid Al Omari, and we are broadcasting live from Dubai at GITEX 2023. We are here to discuss how we take the technology and put it in action. And it's not just only about acquiring technology. It's about adopting the technology and harnessing the power and getting the business value. With that, I'm so honored to host our guest, Salim Al-Naj, who is our senior manager for the customer success in the region. So Salim, welcome to the
Thank you so
podcast.
much for having me.
Thank you. So Salim, in a nutshell, what is you and your team mission is about?
Sure. So the most important thing that we focus on is value realization for our customers. Our customers put their investment into solutions and looking towards business outcomes. We help them as customer success team to not only use or get the value from the solutions, but also accelerate the results and the outcomes so that they achieve their business objectives.
So you have like the methodologies, the approaches that you work in once the project is landed.
Yeah.
Can you explain to us what you do just to reach out to get to that realization part?
Absolutely. So it's very important that we pick up from where the deployment happened. So the customer success team is involved in the handover process so that they understand the solution and what the customer objectives are. And then we go into a very important step, which is the success planning.
Okay.
And success planning is basically coming out with all the activities and the projects and the initiatives to help the customer drive, faster and accelerate on, trying to achieve those outcomes, focusing on activities that the teams internally can be aligned around. And help the customer try to align even more internally and with the other entities within VMware, the business units, the other teams, their partners and so on. So we sit in the center of all of this, trying to align all these activities together, build a success plan, help the customer execute against it, and measure the success of each of those outcomes using KPIs and metrics over a period of time.
Okay. So Salim, I know this is you, and we've been working together a lot on the customer side, but you are the closest when it comes to this kind of journey to make sure that they realize the value.
Yeah.
What are the key challenges? Because life is not, and projects are not always like on the right track, what have you.
Of course.
So what are the main challenges that you face that customers are blocking them or just becoming a barriers for realizing the value or for adoption?
Yeah. So the most important one is time, because customers have many priorities and they have to do most of these project implementations along with their business as usual. So they get a bit overwhelmed. They don't have much time to do the research, the planning, the activity listing and the resource assignment and all these things. So this is the very important challenge. The second one is sometimes complexity. So there is a level of implementation that happens that the customer is not very aware of, and we need to help by upskilling, helping understand the features and the capabilities of those solutions. Yeah.
Okay. So now with this in mind, so you have the plans. Definitely there are bumps, there are barriers that we have together with the customers to go through it. And then definitely that will require adoption and realizing the value. Now, for the customers that you are dealing with, and for our listeners and the viewers, what Salim is going to tell them from his heart, from his mind, in his capacity, what advice you want to give to your audience, to your listeners and viewers around the globe in the customer success journey for them to realize their value?
Yeah.
What you want to address to them?
Yeah, well, the first thing and the most important thing is that customer success is your trusted advisor. So always include them in the process, in your meetings, share your plans with them, and use that trusted advisor to help you drive, more value from the solutions. This is the most important thing. The collaboration with your customer success members is going to generate value for you and for your business.
So Salim, I know that you have a big mission, and a lot of customers is relying on our technology as well with delivery teams, with the customer success team, to really translate that promise to reality, impact to their business, and also to really upsell on that notion of their customers and their customers' customers, so that they can deliver a better value. So on that, Salim, and on behalf of everyone, we want to thank you for taking that mission and really, raising the flag and just getting to the last mile of assuring the customer adoption of the technology and the realization of the value. Salim, thank you for being with us
Pleasure
today.
and honor. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For our listeners and the viewers, stay tuned. Now we are in Dubai. And to get to the Dubai, definitely we have to get through the hubs of Dubai. And for that, we are going to have a very special guest who's going to be sharing that experience and what they are doing behind the scene to make sure that your experience getting you through the airports is going to be smooth, something that you're going to talk about positively, and it will really get the excitement in joining GITEX as well, enjoying the city. Stay tuned. In 2 minutes, we'll be back with you. Thank you. back to the show. I'm your host, Rashid Al Omari, and we are broadcasting live from Dubai at GITEX 2023. Before the break, we told you we are all here went through the experience to manage to get to the United Arab Emirates as well to Dubai. And one of the ways that we want to come is the airports. And we are having a very, very special guest. Bijo Hamid, he's the head of the infrastructure within Dubai airports. He's with us live just to share the experience as well what he and his team is doing behind the scene, just to make your life, your journey once you landed, even though before you land to Dubai airports, till you enjoy the city as well enjoy the country, to make it an experience. Without further ado, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, Rashid. Thanks for having me.
Bijo, just tell us about yourself, introduce yourself to the audience, to the viewers around the globe. We have it from all over, from Japan, Australia, India, Pakistan, Middle East, Africa, just name it. And all they are eager just to hear from Bijo, what Bijo is doing, what's his mission, and also Dubai Airport mission.
Oh, fantastic. Firstly, thanks for having me. It's exciting because I've been in the technology space for over 2 decades now.
Okay.
And my journey with Dubai airports is 17 years long, mashallah.
Wow, mashallah.
There's one of those places where it's so dynamic, so exciting, and every time you think you might want to change, the whole business just evolves into something even greater. So that always keeps us switched on. My background is essentially in cybersecurity. I've been doing that for pretty much all my career.
So we have to watch out.
But I think it's also helped me get a very deeper perspective on when we talk about security and secure by design, secure by build. So it's very easy when you sit on the other side of the table and say, you know what, this is what has to get done.
Yes.
Now, when you come to the other side of the table and look at how do we operationally engage, you really understand it's not a very easy, especially with the scale of operations that we do. So I think that's really helped me. That background has helped me in my current role. As far as the role is concerned, I oversee 4 verticals of the airport's technology operations. I look after data centers, network and communications, database operations, and a lot of the OT modernization. This is where we step in, work with our colleagues from our engineering side of the business, look at all of the IT touch points and help modernize, secure, standardize it, right? And that's essentially a lot of where our core operations rest. With the airport itself, we are a 24/7 operation. And mashallah, this year we are forecasting to be just 1.6% short of the pre-pandemic numbers in terms of footfall. So you can imagine with the air show, with COP28 that's coming, the shopping festival, the UAE, the winter experience, we are really optimistic about having a fantastic winter season as well.
Wow. And Dubai, definitely, the airports, this has really been an icon in the industry. And what Dubai did actually in that space, it's revolutionized the experience that happens in the industry.
So I think one of the first things that we try to envisage when we look at what do we offer to our guests is the experience. Right? A few years ago, if you asked me what were you doing, I would have probably said security, I would have probably said infrastructure. But I think all of us play a vital role in facilitating that experience. We just want to make sure that everyone who comes in, including ourselves, our families, having a very smooth, a fantastic experience. And we take pride when our guests call us the best airport.
Yes.
Yeah. For the 9 years in a row running, we've been the busiest airport in the world. So when you look at volume and quality, it's not an easy game.
Absolutely.
And the entire community comes together to make sure we get that. And I think one of the things we are also very conscious of is it's the first impression you leave with someone when they come into the country. Right? And a good experience always stays with them when they leave. Because the first and last impression about Dubai and brand and the UAE is with the airport.
And I can tell you, I'm one of your customers, like any other business people around living here as well, commuting and traveling around the globe. And seriously, when we reach to Dubai, we know what to expect.
You feel like home.
We feel home, and we feel, even though, like definitely when we're also traveling with the national carriers as well, like Emirates and Etihad, before, even though when we are at the destinations or the lounges there, we feel that we are home, and the experiences start from there. And once we land, definitely we can have an expectation on the quality of service.
Absolutely.
That people that they're there to make our experience thoroughly, and we know that like a couple of minutes we're going to be out with our going to our destination and start enjoying the stay there. So really, I will tell you thank you. And we have so many travelers around the globe, we have to say thank you.
I think it's just a collective effort of all of the stakeholders and the airport, just working in harmony. I think when the focus is on experience, much less than anything else, I think it will translate. It comes from the heart. And I think a lot of the things that's happened in the past few years has been technology has been at the driving seat of it. We've been leveraging a lot of technological capabilities, and it's not just the technology element of it. It's also how we are adopting certain key principles using technology. So, for instance, the way we operate within our area of within technology, at least my infrastructure area, is we have a 5-pronged strategy. So essentially, we focus on efficiency. So efficiency is efficiency in operations, cost, design, and also managing obsolescence. A lot of the challenge in the tech landscape is we have a lot of obsolete life cycles with assets.
Yes.
And managing that is essentially equating to a risk management exercise. So there's a big emphasis on the efficiency aspect. The second pillar is intelligence and insight. So how do we make sure a lot of the data points that we currently have and the ones that we can currently mine and harness, how do we convert that into actionable insights? How do we really make sure we use the power of data science, machine learning, AI to a certain extent, and how do we create that capability that allows the data to speak for itself, not just for in-time operations, but also for predictive behavior, be it maintenance, be it fault detection, and things like that. The third one is, interestingly, for a very resource-hungry and intensive function is sustainability.
Yes.
And in fact, we're working very closely with VMware. We have a very mature relation with the way we're using some of those products and creating a green dashboard. I think that speaks volume, just to give you a sense of the carbon avoidance that we've done.
Yes.
From the time we started the 2016 journey up until now. It's a little over 6,500 tons, 6,500 tons of offset.
Wow.
Right? And that's just the virtualization space. When we look at asset management and optimization, there's a lot of foundational housekeeping that we do to make sure that we consume less energy and less cooling requirements. And again, that's been adding the 400-ish kind of ton offset on an annual basis. We've done a lot of consolidation with a lot of our critical operational environments. In one particular instance, we've gone from about 740 rack units to 140 rack units.
Wow.
So we take this very seriously, right? And that is well aligned with a lot of the objectives that the leadership at the national level and the organization have.
So Bijo, just to add, just put it also this is spotlight. So with the sheer amount of, let's say, like visitors passing through the airport and the experience, which is growing year after year, and now we're going to be going back, even though hitting the numbers of the pre-pandemic, and still you are managing and maintaining to reduce the cost, the complexity, as well, having the sustainability agenda within Dubai airports. This is really phenomenal because sometimes, as you said before, it's like a scale and experience.
That's right.
And now, even though here within what you have is around the scale of operation and the sustainability.
I think what's the saying? You work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
So it's almost on that thought process, right? And I think at a national level we have a big vision. At an organizational level we take it very seriously, and at an operational level we need to make sure we help walk that talk, right? Yeah. And I think a lot of it goes back to us just looking at how we can manage operations in a much more leaner footprint with a higher output capability.
Okay, so now definitely once you are going through this, and definitely I think there is the leadership direction and motivation and investment with everybody really thinking towards that kind of goal, which is, like you said, it's the impression, the first impression that matters. With that, definitely for you lead for providing the foundation and the infrastructure for all these good things to really deliver. Definitely there was some challenges, right, that you have to overcome.
For sure.
So, for our listeners and the viewers, just to get also lessons learned from the expert, what is really a major challenge that you would like to share and how you managed to overcome it?
I think I'll just go with the single word, the approach. So I think agility is very important for us.
Okay.
And through the pandemic, that's really helped us adapt to what was happening. One of the things that we had to be very cognizant of is the airport didn't stop during the pandemic. It was bringing in critical supplies, including making sure that the city operated. It was a very critical lifeline, and facilitating it for other stakeholders as well. So for us to make sure that the services are always up, it's reliably operating, it's secure. Just because we had a major disruption doesn't mean that we compromise on the security part. So that's very crucial for us. And what's also important is one of the big takeaways that we've taken from analyzing the way we've operated is also about not just simply downsizing or upsizing, but right-sizing. Okay, so we need to make sure that if we've got additional capacity, can we repurpose that for something else? If we think we're going closer to the red lines, have we scaled up proportionately? Do we have that agility in scaling up and scaling down, even scaling out? Okay. So when we move from a very physical heavy tech footprint to a predominantly virtualization based, so I think we've crossed over 95% of the compute and the storage footprint being virtualized. So with that, we've seen leaps and bounds in the way we were able to get that scalability. From the OT perspective, it's all about reliability. We want to make sure that planes can land, planes can take off, people can come and go, cargo gets handled, and that consistent clockwork, need for the whole community, it's very crucial. For us, from a challenge perspective, we need to make sure that a lot of the tech obsolescence or tech debt is carefully managed, and it's a fine act between investments versus how much of the risk can be offset or mitigate.
Yes.
It wouldn't matter if we had a lot of fund coming in if we can't really roll out those tech refresh activities on a very sustainable basis. Also from ensuring that the skill set, right? So people are rightly trained, the right levels of skills are there. We are able to automate quite a lot of the time-consuming, the granular activities, and let a lot of the scripting and automation engines. So we're looking heavily. So one of the things I mentioned was the information and intelligence or the insight part.
Yes.
That has to go into a way we can automate and orchestrate a lot of the things that we do. So my SMEs can then focus on the real business problem challenges, right? And that sort of works in a nice clockwork way.
Okay. So Bijo, in this kind of really critical function like yours, in a critical 24/7, this is definitely the availability, being services up, the experience is absolute a must, and you cannot compromise at by any means. Now the question will be for the practitioners actually on similar to you on other organizations, okay, as well for listeners and viewers. We have the like of me and you on the other side of the list, yeah, and they want to listen. What is your advice to them in really just getting things, because you were mentioning sizing, right sizing. Sometimes people, they want to, three, and they have to do with some compromise. So what's your advice for them to really get that work and this being pragmatic at the same time? Maybe they have to let things go and to embrace new things. So what is, like your sincere advice to your industry colleagues around the globe, okay, that you want to tell them, guys, listen, get this from me?
So simply put, I think what we often overlook, and we sort of get lost in the complexity of our work, is we forget the basics.
Okay.
Like often with the basics, and the simple example I gave about us, doing an optimization of the physical, the facility optimizations, it got us a lot of payback in terms of the resource utilization and all of that. So just looking at the fundamental housekeeping and ensuring that your basic layers are well built, and it's not a set and forget practice. So once you do it, you will often need to go back, make a sense check of it. But at the same time, you do it embracing innovation. You have to think out of the box. You have to really work, smarter in looking at. So a lot of the things that would have taken a lot of time and effort can easily be managed through the likes of machine learning today. Right? You can let the machines do the learning. You can let them do the actual orchestration of things that you need to do. And at the same time, the human resource that we have needs to be focused on the real, the business problem solving. And then I think that for me would be the one of the biggest takeaways from this. And then the other thing, again, probably selfishly from my security background, is the fact that we can always talk about security, but practicing security is a different thing, right? And when the emphasis on building things secure, you firefight less going forward.
Wow.
So just make sure that you are secure by design and by build.
It's not afterthought.
It should never be a retrofit.
Yeah.
A retrofit has always got trade-offs, and one of the things that you definitely don't want to do with security is, especially with critical infrastructure, you don't compromise on things, right? So if you can build it from the core, it's a nice and organic way of sort of maturing over time without compromising on the functionality.
So Bijo, just tell us, future outlook. What is Dubai Airports is going to wow us? We already, get the best service, but definitely you want to take it to the next level. What to expect?
I think one of the best ways to appreciate something is to experience it.
Yes.
For those of you who are in GITEX, I definitely would invite you to the government pavilion where we have a big stall set up. A lot of the technological breakthroughs that we are currently launching or has been announced, or some of them are in beta. You can experience it there. Be it our take on chat, DXP chat. We got pocket flights, for instance. So the big split screens where you see all of the flight details.
Yes.
That you're physically at the airport. All it takes is a QR code, and you have it on your phone now.
Wow.
And it's you can actually go and experience it right away.
Wow.
There's a number of demos on how we do the passenger flow management, how we manage it with our stakeholders in terms of inbound flights, the passenger flows, how do we manage it at the terminal level. All of that is that. So there's a lot of exciting stuff that's coming your way from an airport's perspective. Again, I think we'll do the full circle, right? It's all about your experience, right? As a passenger, as a visitor, as somebody who has a perception about Dubai, we definitely want to make sure that you go back and tell others about the Dubai experience. And again, and it has to be consistent from our lives.
And where is your stand in the government pavilion?
We are I believe it's a Sheikh Saeed. Yeah, and we are within the proximity of the Digital Dubai enclave. But you won't miss us. It's one of the bigger pavilions there.
Okay. So Bijo, again, I have to say again and again, thank you for the amazing work that you are doing just to make our experience wow.
It's wonderful to hear.
As well, getting to our families, beloved one in no time with really the smoothest experience that we get through airports around the globe. And I can tell you, I've been 2 months back, I was one of the international airports hub, and I have to queue just to get to the immigration for 4 hours.
That would be sad.
That will not happen in
the
Dubai.
Snake queues.
Yeah, exactly. So that will not happen. And I think on behalf of all the travelers, all the people that are actually in Dubai enjoying it, as well in the UAE, visitors, tourism, everybody is coming to the city. They will say thank you. Keep the good work and always keep wowing us and getting us to the next level. Thank you, Bijo, for
Thank you very much.
us.
And I must say, I think it's all a cascaded effect of the leadership. The leadership has a vision of excellence, and I think all of us has a role to play. Happiness, experience, safety.
Yes.
We want to make sure the airport's always safe for you to travel. I think just immediately after the pandemic, we were one of the first airports to bounce back very quickly.
Yes.
And that level of assurance that was able to give. And it all comes out, I think it just trickles down from the national leadership.
Yes.
We've all have that great leadership that says, that's what we have to offer. Dubai should be an impression that you leave with everyone when they go in. So thanks for having me again.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you, and pass our regards to your teams and our appreciations on behalf of everyone and GITEX visiting Dubai as well the UAE to tell you thank you for the great effort that you're doing. For our listeners and viewers, you've been listening to the experts, to the true stories, what they are doing, behind the scene to make the experience, as well to take whatever innovation to better serve you, to deliver a better service to you, as well to have a better user experience. With that, Stay tuned. We'll take just a 5 minutes break, and we will be getting to another dimension with a very special guest from our global worldwide leadership team, just to tell you we cannot do it alone. And this is something that we have an ecosystem of partners and business partners that together we can work to serve customers like Dubai airports as well other customers around the globe. We cannot do it alone. And stay tuned. In a shorter break, we'll be discussing how we are actually working with our ecosystem partner to deliver that exceptional experience to you. Stay tuned, and we'll be back. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host Rashid Al-Umari, and we are broadcasting live from Dubai at GITEX 2023. As we discussed before the break, we have a special guest, flown specially to be with GITEX, and this is not the first time. He's been now a couple of times visiting the region, really working with our ecosystem partners just to stimulate the business as well, to be closer to us and closer to our customers. Without further ado, I'm really honored to host Ricky Cooper, who's our head of worldwide global operations for commercial and sales. So welcome to the show.
Pleasure. Great to be here and great to be back on your show.
Yeah, it's how many times now?
3 times with you, because we did Formula One, we did GITEX last year, and now this year. 5 times in GITEX.
So what's the vibes of GITEX? What's you see?
Well, I tell you one thing. A couple of years ago, it was getting very busy. I think people last year were a little bit concerned about Leap and how that might draw some people from here. But I'm telling you, this is the busiest one I think we've ever had. I mean, it's difficult to even walk out here at certain times of the day. Early morning is good, late afternoon is good, but there's just what a buzz around the industry. And it's not just, it's everywhere, right? Because Leap is busy. It's different people here, different people at Leap. Everyone's getting a real interest.
Brilliant. Maybe Ricky, just you say that the motion and the notion for the let's say GITEX 2023 is imagine AI everywhere.
Yeah.
So taking this into consideration, and you can see a lot of buzz, a lot of this innovation happening outside, and also you are coming from a worldwide global perspective.
Yeah.
How you see this with what's the notion of the and motto of GITEX this year, also what you see around the globe?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. The reason there's such a buzz and everyone's getting excited, most of the players here are software, infrastructure, and here's why, right? So when you look at the opportunity, a very good friend of mine runs global data centers for many different companies. They have a very big fund trying to buy as many data centers as they can. They can't even fulfill the potential of what's coming. Their big customers would be Microsoft, would be AWS, etc. So Google, they're building data centers for all of these companies. And what's happening is at the front end, if you look at the global market for cloud, it's around 300 billion per year. Now, it's set to treble just with AI. Okay, but what fills the data center is more of the infrastructure stuff that we know and love. That's why you'll see the big OEMs are here looking to sell more servers, more storage, etc. So it's going to grow from around, I think it's 13 gigawatts of capacity per year to something like 37 with AI. So it's set for a massive explosion. And in between all of that, so you've got the opportunity is clear. It's going to be 3 times as big as what it is today with cloud. Then in the middle, you have the infrastructure players, the hardware infrastructure players. You've got the software, you've got NVIDIA with their capabilities, etc. And companies coming along that path as well, the Intels of the world, the AMDs, etc. And then you've got the customer. At this end, okay? And the customer, today we're saying, okay, isn't it great that you've got ChatGPT, it improves productivity, etc. When it's really going to tip is when we have use cases, and they're coming, that the partners and the disties and the infrastructure and software companies can get hold of and say, Mr. Customer, this is how this solution, this is what it can provide to you in terms of savings, whether that's headcount, efficiencies, getting to market faster, whatever the case may be. Once you get those use cases that are tangible, then this piece we're all going to be filling data centers, and that's what we're here for, right?
Yeah, and then put this in the context of really where you have leading, like the commercial space around the globe.
Yeah.
Because always in the commercial segments, they feel sometimes they will left behind. Big names are actually taking the lights out from them. But the innovation is happening everywhere, right?
Oh yeah, it's happening everywhere. I mean, we've got I'd say a lot of our customer base in consumer have vSphere, okay?
Yeah.
And it's all about the renewal motion with vSphere. But now some of these customers are starting to mature they now want something like a HCI solution in this area. So we're seeing more and more of that coming. Of course, we've always had a good footprint with our EUC and Workspace ONE offerings in that space as well, but predominantly vSphere and now a bit more of the HCI offerings. Now, what I can tell you, how we've improved through automation, and it's kind of linked in as well to AI, is that we had a whole sales force in that area.
Yes.
And historically, that sales force of about 1,000 people across the globe.
Yes.
They were very focused on. We thought it was sales. When you actually dig into what they do every day, they're doing quotes. The average quote replication is 8 times. 8 times to get a quote out. And many, many weeks sometimes to actually get these quotes out. When you go from the beginning of the request to the end of the request. They were also placing orders. So you've got expensive sales resource focused on admin tasks. Now by using the disties, we've got some great ones here in this region. By using the great partner network that we have here, we provide that motion now is partner-led. It's no longer VMware. We're not competing. We've outsourced that whole motion to the partners and to the disties. And the productivity is in our results. I can tell you in Q1, Q2, in that space, have improved dramatically.
Wow.
It's been better than it's ever been before. And now the resource that we had, they're getting more out of it because they're now focused on the larger customers, the enterprise type customers across the globe, and they're selling solutions. So their careers are evolving. They've gone from inside sales, potentially, selling 1 or 2 products into a whole portfolio and talking to customers about solutions. So, just by using the technology that's available to us, the new technology that our partners and our disties are driving, they're becoming aggregators, the disties, as an example. Their platforms are they're investing tens, hundreds of millions in these platforms. They're getting the right results.
So, Ricky, I think I keep saying, and whenever I'm going to meet you, that we cannot do it alone, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, in this mind, now, even though with the transition that we are going as a VMware, with what's kind of coming in the couple of weeks and months, how is the importance of our ecosystem partner in this journey?
Yeah, well, listen, it's fundamental. And what we've been doing isn't too dissimilar from what others have done in the past. I've seen other large companies outsource their commercial space, as an example, and outsource some of the back-end processes, give it to partners. A great area for us where we're seeing partners really step up is getting accreditations, providing services. Okay, because services for us, what's really key for us in the higher end of our business is VCF, getting VCF deployed. Not just one component of VCF, the whole stack of VCF, the NSX piece, the area management platform in there as well, and then obviously vSAN, vSphere. So you're talking about the whole stack getting deployed. Our partners are critical in helping us on that journey as well, to make sure, because consumption, when you move from perpetual into SaaS, we're on that journey ourselves. Consumption is the most important tool and most important driver for customer success that we have.
And actually, during the course of the day, we also had guests where they're talking about the importance of adoption, the importance of realizing that value. And I think maybe we'll be taking that too much on our shoulders. Now, I think with the models that you are working on, we are also keeping everybody, let's say, joining that and be also accountable and taking the responsibility and opportunity for that journey.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, and look, let's go back. I was at Microsoft 15 years ago. 12 years ago, and they were going through the SaaS transformation. And what happened is they'd have sellers out in the field selling large perpetual deals. As you then go into the next stage, you want to make sure it's deployed. That person then morphed into a customer success.
Yes.
And they'd take on 2 or 3 customers, and their role was, hey, launch it, ensuring that the customers were deployed, ensuring that they saw the roadmaps that are coming. It's a different touch to the customer rather than a sale once every 3 years.
Okay.
So, others have been through this. We're experiencing it now, and luckily we've got a lot of people, a lot of partners that can help us on that journey.
So, if I put the lens of the customer.
Yeah.
So, what improvement I'm going to be seeing in context of what you said?
Well, you're going to see speed of execution. You're going to see, in terms of, getting your quotes, getting your orders placed. A lot of this infrastructure is mission critical to them, and it shouldn't be taking weeks. It shouldn't be taking a long time to interact with us. So you'll get a lot more touch from the partner and the distribution ecosystem that will help and train you, enable you, actually take you through everything. They are an extension of our workforce, a massive extension of our workforce. What have we got? 32,000 people, 35,000 people. By the partner ecosystem carrying our message, that becomes hundreds of thousands of people, So training improves, communication improves. That's what the customers are looking for, really, to understand how to get the best from this software that we're buying. They're paying, a hefty price for some of this stuff, and they want to know, how do I get the best out of this? And we've got a lot of people to help us. Now our role becomes a lot more focused on how do we train the partners, how do we enable them, helping them with the certifications, making sure that they're ready to go and deploy this, with us, with services. And our service team then become a bit more focused on being a prime for some of the big opportunities. But what's driving our partners very well is the fact that as you go from perpetual to a SaaS motion, the margins on perpetual are high, big one-time deals. The margins on subscription are lower, but you're going on a journey there. So how do you make this up? A lot of the services that go with that, handing that motion to the partners and involving them on that journey is far better. It increases their profitability, massively.
And it needs to be a win-win situation for sustainability and for the customer.
Of course, yeah. If we were just offering them, a few % on licenses, it doesn't work. And now what you're seeing is great competition with all of our partners, because they want to provide the best value add to the customer to win the deal. So it's not just about, hey, I'll give you a price. It's not a pass-through. Yeah. So now the great thing is they train themselves, they become agile, and who wins? The customer.
Yes.
They're getting the best of everything.
So, Ricky, I know that you are here in a mission to be in GITEX, but at the same time also to have meetings with major, let's say, like distribution channels and partners as well. For the ones that they didn't have the chance to meet Ricky, either from the not the top senior management, other management, the practitioners, other partners or distribution that they didn't have the chance to meet with Ricky. I want you to address something to them. I want to give them a message. What will be your advice, Ricky, who's in charge of that segment at the global level, to them?
Yeah, I think my advice and the direction that we've taken this year, we've talked briefly about commercial outsourcing to partner. We've talked about how the customers can get the best benefit from working with partners as they become more agile and more educated and better prepared. We've done a lot of work to listen to the partners and to the disties this year and launch a new program, which is Partner Connect 2.0. And in Partner Connect 2.0, you have the ability to get rewarded for the life cycle of a deal and of a customer journey. So if you do test and dev, you get rewards. If you do services, you get rewards. And if at the end you're doing deployment, you get rewards as a partner. In the past, we used to pay you just for the largest deal that was out there. Nothing else. Now you're getting paid on this whole life cycle. So we've been listening. So my advice not my advice, my message to the ecosystem here is we're listening. We've really come up with some great designs on commercial. We're giving it to you. On services, we're giving it to you. On the program, we're giving it to you. We're listening and we're acting on everything we said we'll do this year. And we're winning awards based on your feedback. So thank you very much to all the partners. As you can see, I'm a regular here. Yes. I believe very heavily that this whole area has so much to offer. It's been fantastic for VMware, especially with our relationship with Dell EMC at the time, and then more recently Dell Technologies. It's been great. Now we're working with a lot more of the OEMs and expanding our portfolio here as well. This region is truly inspiring.
So, Ricky, really, thank you so much for being with us today. And again, always a privilege and honor to host you on our podcast.
Pleasure.
And definitely always in good news, let's say, like how we make sure we are not alone, as you said. If we are a 20, 30, 5,000, let's say within VMware, with the reach of our ecosystem partners, we are hundreds of thousands, right?
Yeah.
And then this is going to be better for our customers, better for everyone, really, which they were going to get harness the power of the technology, the innovation that we get, and everybody is going to be benefiting. VMware, partner ecosystems, and most importantly, our customers.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think some of the big companies out there, some of the big OEMs are really looking at how do we grow our partner relations. I mean, there's some out there that, you know, for VMware, I think 85% of our business goes through partners. There's some that's 10. You know, those guys are asking me, how do you make this happen? How can we grow our partner and not take so much direct? Partners, most definitely the future, most definitely the place to be. I was in direct sales for, 17, 18 years. But now you look at the enthusiasm and what we're doing here, this is the future. And we had a phrase at Dell, you might remember, which was better together.
Better together, yes.
You could use that for this whole ecosystem right now.
Ricky, thank you so much for being
Pleasure.
with us. It's really always a pleasure, and we can see the energy and the passion, and good, like for being the partner side,
Yeah.
Hearing from Ricky, like all that energy and passion, and even though with the programs that we are designing within his capacity and the team, really to make it a win-win situation, also ignite you, inspire you, give you the knowledge sharing, the capacity building, everything so that you can be on the front line and expand our reach to the customer. This is amazing. So thank you, Ricky, for
Pleasure.
being with us.
Thank
And
you.
for our listeners and viewers, today was a long day. We really had a lot of sessions, meetings, with key stakeholders of the industry, with our top executives that coming especially to you from different parts of the world to be part of Jitix, to share their experience, as well to give you about all the new things that we are doing. And also, very importantly, we had customers that they share their experience, not only, and they tell you the lessons learned that they have gone through and the barriers that they have to overcome. And you being a very, let's say, amazing participants in your comments and your comments here and there. And thank you for being active for that 4 hours. And stay tuned. Tomorrow we are going to, have the last day of our podcast from Jitix 2023. Stay tuned, and we'll see you tomorrow. And thank you really for all your efforts and time going through the day and getting all this insight. Thank you so much, and thank you, Ricky.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.